Hey there. I just figured I would check in with everybody. I've had a lot of people reach out to me. Today marks 1 month since I was laid off from my job. And so a lot of people have written to me and called me and texted me and asked if I was okay or if there's anything that people can do. And I am so appreciative of it. It's really nice to know that I have such a great network of folks who care about me and care about Adam and really want to help us succeed. So thank you for that. We are very fortunate. We are lucky. One person said, hey, if you ever get to the point where you need food, please don't hesitate. And I won't hesitate, but we are not close to that situation. So a few things have been really helpful. So first off, the week that I lost my job, we had been doing a lot of overtime, and it came very sudden to me and completely a surprise. About 40 of us were on a conference call, and we all found out together on Friday, March 20th, that we lost our job. And then we had to try to figure out, well, what does that mean and what do we do and what's going on? So as you probably know, I was the breadwinner for us. Last year, Adam left his job so that we could pursue our business full time. And we did not take a salary from the business last year. So my salary covered everything, all of our bills, all of the mortgage, and all of that kind of stuff. So we had to quickly get into gear and figure out what was going on. We were super lucky to get a forbearance for our mortgage. So our bank gave us 3 months forbearance with a possibility of having another 3 months, depending on what happens with, all the situation of what's going on in the world today. And they tack it on to the end, so we don't have to pay a bigger payment once we start paying, which is good. We were also able to defer our student loans, so we both have student loans, and we were able to defer those until I think it's September. So those are two huge monthly bills that we have on a regular basis that are paused, which is good. We also, with unemployment, typically unemployment in South Carolina pays $329 a week, and my job paid, while it wasn't that much, was significantly more than $329 a week. So that was a little scary, but then with the CARES Act, they were able to add another $600. So with unemployment, we are able to pay all of our bills and to save some money so that when we have to pay our mortgage again, that we're going to be able to pay our mortgage. We had to take a couple of different cost-cutting measures. So we canceled our trash and recycling service at the house. So now we'll just drive it to the dump or bring it to the shop. We cut back. Adam had a phone, I had a phone, and then we had a business phone. And now we only have two among those three phone numbers. So we've taken some of that, and obviously we're trying real hard to only shop on sale. So we are good. And we have some money in the bank for all of that now because we're able to pay for that. So thank you for everybody who has reached out and worried and to see if we have what we need. And we do have our basic needs. And I am very hopeful that we will be able to now grow the business. So I am cautiously excited, I guess. I probably never would have quit my job. Even though if we want to really grow this business, sometime you have to kind of jump off the ledge. I probably wouldn't have because it's nice to have that security. So it is fortunate, I guess, in the worst, to try to make, lemonade out of lemons. I'm fortunate that it's now when I can collect unemployment, and unemployment is a little bit more than the $329, that we have a little bit of time to get our feet on the ground and to save some money so that by the time we start paying our mortgage, again, we'll have enough to pay for 3 to 6 months, depending on how long our forbearance will go. So that is very fortunate. We also applied for a PMI reduction. So we've been paying PMI on our mortgage, and we needed to get a broker out. So you may have seen that we worked tirelessly one whole weekend to try to get our house in order as much as we could so that we could get another appraisal. And fortunately that went through. So we got the notification on Saturday that that they will be removing our PMI. So that's another $80 a month that we don't have to pay. So that's super exciting. I mean, forever, right? So that's a really great thing. But as far as business goes, our clientele tend to be higher end clientele overall. So most of the people who buy from us on a regular basis are not as impacted by financially by what's going on as others. So, for example, in the service industry, it's obviously chaos for everybody. But most of the people who buy our shutters are typically corporate folks. And when I used to work at a corporation, when I was at Michelin for during the 2008 crisis, I didn't really feel a huge crisis because I was already working from home, but I was just working as I always worked, and I wasn't worried about my paycheck. And so I know that there's a lot of people out there who just shifted what their work is, and now they work from home instead of working at an office, but they're still getting their regular paycheck, and they're in companies where they're pretty secure, and that stuff is still working, not as normal, but more as normal. So that tends to be who our typical client is. So up until now, we have had a lot of orders. In fact, we've been pretty slammed with a few of them. We have enough orders to keep us busy for at least another month, and we keep getting quotes. So, which is really good and really hopeful. So we are trying to figure out how we can take income from the business and how we can make it to be our livelihood, which has always been our goal. So for those who have asked, how can you support us? One way is just by sharing our business stuff on Facebook as often as you see it or as often as you like or feel comfortable, as well as just tell people that we exist and that you know somebody who makes shutters and makes doors. Specifically, locally, doors is probably more popular, but we can ship anything anywhere. It's just it gets a little bit expensive. For the shutters, we ship all the time anyway, so that is a normal way of business for us. So if you have anybody who you can connect us with, we would love to meet custom builders across the country who work in the $500,000 and up dollar homes, because those are the folks who might decide that they also want to have fancy aluminum shutters as opposed to just something that the builder slaps together on site. Somebody who really cares a little bit more about what that looks like. So those are some people who we would love to be introduced to. And if you know them and wouldn't mind setting up like a Zoom conference call for the three of us to talk, that would be beyond helpful for us long term. That is a great way to help. And like I said, just sharing our posts is really, really helpful. I can't let you know enough how important that is and how many just quotes and whatnot and questions we've had because other friends have shared our Facebook posts and shared our website and recommended us. Your recommendation goes really far. So if you can recommend us, luckily it's mostly free for you. I guess your reputation is on the line, but it's mostly free for you. All you have to do is do a share, and it's hugely helpful for us. And that's true for almost every small business. So if you like other small businesses in your hometown, if you can share their stuff, if you can just let people know that they exist, it's really, really helpful for all small businesses. And then just say a prayer, send some happy, positive thoughts into the universe for all the small businesses. I've shared a lot of stuff. We applied for the PPP. We applied for the EIDL. We received neither. Again, we are fortunate that without it, we will still be okay. It's helpful and it would be great to have, and it gives us a little bit more of a cushion and a little bit less fear. But there are people who really are really, really scared that they're not going to make it through all of this. I consider myself a make things happen type of a gal. So today, for example, what I'm doing is taking this, which is a Z louver slot holder. And I am taking Z louvers here, and I am seeing whether or not they fit in the hole. So, this is something that obviously any of your kids could do. So does it fit through this? And if it does, then that's good. And I put it in the good pile. And if it doesn't, it's bad. And I put it in the bad pile. And I'm learning just how much scrap we end up having from this. So it's good from an inventory standpoint. It's for a job that we have coming up for a really fancy order of fully aluminum raised panels, which nobody else offers. So if you know anybody who wants that, please let us know. But this is what I'm doing. So mentally, I may not be as excited as I am about opportunities because, I like to think and I like to solve problems, and I like to have discussions with people. And lately, all it's been is me, Adam, and my dad cutting aluminum and assembling aluminum or sanding doors. And I will be excited when I get to use my brain again and not just do manufacturing, because it's not what I wanted to do, and it's not what my education is for, and it's not where I thrive. But where I do thrive is making stuff happen, and being that person who will just put my nose to the grindstone, or I guess hand to the saw, whatever, and make it happen and make it work, because I'm not okay with failing. I need to make sure that I have done everything that I can to make things work, and that is what we're going to do. So, yeah, so I guess that's that. Hopefully, sometime soon, we will be so busy that we can hire somebody else to do this stuff that I'm doing. And I can do sales and marketing and customer service and business improvement, process improvement, and all of that good stuff that actually fills me with joy, whereas this kind of just sucks the energy out of me. It's been hard to stay on my fasting that I was doing really well, because I just get bored, and when you're bored, you just want to bored eat, right? So I have been very focused on not bored eating, but instead of waiting for 20 hours before I break my fast, I've been really like waiting for it by the time the 18-hour comes around. So I'm not losing any more weight, and hopefully I'm going to start running more. I ran last week. My whole body hurt by the time Friday came, so I didn't run a second time because I don't want to break myself. But that was good. Oh, and the other thing, like, we got insurance, and because we make no money, essentially, it's the Affordable Care Act allows us to have more or less free insurance after the stipend and all of that. So I appreciate Julie Punkar helping us navigate that and getting us insurance. So should something happen, we are covered. But anyway, this is probably a longer video than anyone wants to watch, so I'm sure there's nobody actually watching right now. It's just me talking to myself holding a Z-Louver. But I wanted to say thank you, because there's been a lot of people who have reached out, and I don't want people worrying about me. I continue to share stuff about small businesses because it's a world that I did not know the last time things were hard, and I didn't understand the impact it had on people's livelihood. And I don't know, this is probably a little bit different than it has been in the past, but I want to raise awareness for all of that. I know that everybody's struggling with what is the best thing to do right now. Is it best to open up the economy and possibly flood hospitals more than they are today? Is it better to stay social distancing and risk the economy going down even further? And those are hard decisions, and they're hard conversations, and it's stuff that we think about all the time, because, as you know, I have a sister who works in the ER, and she said it's been okay, right? But she just still doesn't have the PPE that she needs. PPP is what I applied for. She doesn't have the protective equipment that she needs. She has to use one mask per shift, and that's not what you're really supposed to do. So hopefully we can get that in the healthcare area. I also know that it's different in different places. So she's in Massachusetts, and they have a lot more cases and a lot more deaths in Massachusetts than in South Carolina. It's a very different world. We don't have currently as many cases. I don't even think population percentage, though I haven't looked at those numbers. So it feels a little bit less necessary to be as restrictive here than I think it does when you're surrounded by so much death and so much sickness and everything like that. So I hope that we are able as a nation to come up with something that works best for everybody. And of course, there's no perfect solution for everybody. Here's hoping that the next stimulus bills actually helps small businesses and not businesses that somehow consider themselves small because each location is small, but they trade publicly, which is crazy to me. But that it helps our restaurants and our salon owners and our contractors who work as much hard as they can, and they have to get their own paycheck, and they've been told that they can't even look for jobs right now. And they haven't all been able to understand or navigate the unemployment system, which typically does not give them unemployment pay, but right now is supposed to. But a lot of people can't figure it out, and there's nobody to talk to because they're overwhelmed. Everybody's just overwhelmed. So I'm hopeful and I'm excited for opportunity. I'm also super excited to be Woman of the Year candidate for Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. If you haven't donated and you would like to donate, please do so. This week we're getting ready for bingo on Saturday. So any donation, whether it's $1 or $5,000, every donation gets you some bingo cards. So I hope that you'll join us. Kimberly and I are going to do that, and I'm really excited. It should be fun. We've moved all of that to online as well, which is obviously a little disappointing, but it's the way of the world, and we are going to make it as it can be. So we have a lot of opportunities for that. So look forward to it. And I hope that you are all well and safe and able to enjoy some time with your families, and that you're able to get through whatever struggles are facing you, and that you're able to find a positive light in it all as well. So thanks for listening. Mwah.